I run a creative marketing agency in Ireland, co-founded with my brother. We essentially create performance-based ad creative for D2C brands.
So we've been working together for the last 12 months. We've been leveraging our 9-figure flow system. Like, is there anything you can give me to quantify how things have come along over the last 12 months?
Yeah, so a year ago, we had a big team and we were growing pretty fast. But what I identified was as we were growing quite quickly, we were also like our expenses were going through the roof. So although we were putting in like more time, more energy, more graft, our bottom line profit wasn't actually increasing despite the increased effort and headaches. So that led me to go down this path of trying to like lean things out and kind of build better operating systems and everything like that. And I spoke to a friend of mine who's very successful agency owner, and he put me on to you, which is when we first had a chat this time last year when I was in Bali. Now you're in Bali. And yeah, that was where I was before. That was my pain point. And then now, like we achieved that goal of leaning out. We've been able to be much more profitable in the bottom line and increase revenue as well. We haven't increased revenue as aggressively, but our profit bottom line take home has had a substantial increase, which is excellent. And that's what matters really in this game.
Can you share approximately how much you've saved by transitioning to a remote first business model?
So our team was predominantly in-house here in the studio. We still have about 50% here, but as we started to grow, we left more in the remote, which was great for loads of reasons. It meant we didn't have to move into a bigger space and get more desks and more chairs and more computers. Like those are like, they sound like small things or like small one-time payments, but they add up over time. More coffees, more breaks, you know, all that stuff is one thing that's it's unquantifiable, like, but it would definitely be in the thousands if you consider all that. And then not to mention like the guys that we got in are really, really talented. Their output's exceptional and the price is better compared to, you know, maybe a junior role here locally. Plus, you know, with pensions and everything that you would add on, there is a cost saving there. But I'm also more interested in the fact that they're actually super good quality and we don't have to spend loads of time training them up because they come in pretty good, or we don't have to spend a lot of time hiring because you guys solved that as well. So, you know, it's really hard to quantify when I saw the question, but it's going to be in the, if not 10, like definitely tens of thousands if you consider this across the year and the 7 roles we've hired. We haven't really had to rehire too many people, like we did a couple. And again, you handled all that. And then the last point on this that I'd love to make is that, you know, one of the guys we got, they came in to solve X problem, but they ended up being so talented that we ended up like promoting them into the company to become more of like a middle manager. So that saved a lot of time from the likes of myself, my brother Jack, who's manager, and another Jack we have here is senior manager. So the staff now go to him and they're ours. They're valuable, extremely valuable, like per hour. So the fact that he can handle that is again just like an unquantifiable amount of money, I would say in the tens of thousands.
How did having our HR system as part of the service change the way that you guys manage your team over the last 12 months?
Yeah, that part in particular has been really helpful. When you move to like a lot more remote staff, different cultures, the HR team that you guys have has been able to help us transition into making those guys feel welcome and making them feel like they're part of the team, even if they're other side of the world. You know, there's different nuances that come with hiring, you know, from Asian market or African market that, you know, we just probably weren't aware of, that we were brought up to speed on. And then whenever there was issues, which there was only a few across 12 months, which is pretty good, you know, your guys stepped in and basically handled that for us. And then we got to see what it looks like when you do that properly. And then they helped us turn that into a system that we could use actually in our own company, which we now have in place. So yeah, it's been excellent.
Nice. And you referenced before how somebody kind of rose the ranks and took on a more leadership role. How does this help you and Jack free up time or reallocate that focus?
Yeah, so one of the big tasks that we are supposed to do as, you know, business owners is you track all your data and bring those data points actually to monthly meetings. We also have a few that we bring to weekly meetings. And there's always moments where we just haven't done that exercise and things get, you know, forgotten, or you're scrambling to pull figures in a meeting, you know, and it's not really considered. Well, now that we have this guy in place, he's actually presenting those figures to us on the meeting, really clear. He's actually built an even better system, a better data collection system, finding things that we weren't even really tracking. And he's presenting those to us in the meeting, which is, you know, if you think about that, it's just complete role reversal. It's took a whole portion of the business off my own hands, and now I can just trust that he's doing it, because again, he's experienced, more experienced than me, and he's able to come in and tell me, Jack and Jack, this is what's happened over the last 30 days. Here's, you know, bottom line profitability. Here's where your costs have gone into, you know, creators or this, that, and the other, and flagging things that are maybe in like the orange zone that we call it. So it's been really, really good. Yeah.
Because everybody always says you've got to work on the business, not in the business. And do you feel like this transition has allowed you to work more on the business versus in it?
Yeah, definitely. Just being able to step away from well, for me personally, step away from the whole fulfillment side. I don't really do anything there now. And then whenever it comes to the management side, everything's pretty much presented for me, so I can make decisions, which is allowed me to do a lot more what I'm good at, which is, you know, the content, the marketing, and the sales. So I'm kind of seeing myself move more into a CMO role, which has always been my dream. CEO isn't my ideal, but I do have to play that role for now anyway. But it's, you know, it's helping me a lot.
Nice. And it gives you more time on the golf course, I've seen as well.
Say nothing. Don't let the team know that.
What was the most unexpected or surprising benefit that you received from the 9-figure flow system?
To be honest, it's probably that guy that we hired who he came in like highly experienced. I didn't even know that we were able to get kind of people at that level through you. I don't know, the stars aligned and we were able to like, I think if you remember way back, we didn't exactly need his quality or his experience. I know he wasn't a higher price point, but we thought we'll give him a try anyway to solve this one thing, and he solved it. And then he just grew and, you know, brought more value, and now people are essentially going to him for things that they would have come to me for, which is, you know, I didn't expect that, because I thought with our company structure, you know, I'm just solving I'm solving task problems with people. Okay, so here's a task that needs done. Okay, let's get a person in that role, in that seat. But he's actually sitting kind of above that, and all kinds of problems are being solved by him. So and systems are being built out by him as well. So that was surprising, because it wasn't what we went in for, but it's what we got, which is way better.
Nice, yeah. I think a lot of people sometimes overlook the value of paying for quality and experience and just paying that little bit extra. Yeah. You might repeat something you've already said here based on this next question, but on a personal level, how has this changed your day-to-day as a founder? Less stress, more focus, etc.?
I wish I could say less stress, but I don't think that ever exists. But it has allowed me to focus in on content. Our goal is to increase our content output, because historically it's what's helped grow our company. So I've been able to double down on that. That's the, you know, the number one takeaway. That was a goal, was to double our content output, and we have done, and some. So, you know, without this system, I'd still be just stuck going back and forth. And that's simply because there's been less reliance on me to do the things that, you know, the system has solved, and there's better people in place to answer some questions. Allowed me to just sit and focus on content output, and then we also have the personnel there to turn that around, to edit it, both YouTube, shorts, things like that. So that's been huge. Content was a big lever for our initial growth in the early years, and then it kind of just, you know, phased out as we got busier and busier. So it's been really awesome to focus more in on that, and that's, you know, me enjoying what I'm doing now again. So yeah, been great for me.
And is that content specifically for Lifelike?
It's for Lifelike, yeah. So my role is like sales and marketing. So I'm putting out, you know, value content or behind the scenes, or just showing the growth, showing what we do here, building trust. And yeah, that's been a huge lever for us.
Amazing. So now, as a result of this like reallocation of your time and focus on, as you said, a massive lever for your growth, how do you feel about the next 12 months and the potential of the business?
Yeah, I'm excited about it, especially what I said before, like with the profitability thing changing. what that allows us to do is move, reallocate our capital into things that are going to further grow us, because we were stuck there before. So that's pretty exciting, knowing then that we can come to you if we have gaps, if we're scaling and we need to maybe build out that pod. We already have those, trial tasks in place. We can turn over a hire pretty quick. So I'm excited about that. Especially in Q2, we have some further growth plans. Q1 right now, we're just trying to basically maintain the foundations of what we built towards the end of last year, push a little bit, but nothing crazy. And then Q2, we're turning back on our paid marketing channels and everything like that. So it's going to be, a big increase. And it's good to know that you guys are there to support us on it as well.
Fantastic. And I suppose that takes me on nicely to the last question, which is, if you were speaking to another founder considering using the 9-figure flow system, what would you tell them?
I'd definitely tell them to have a chat with you first, just to see, just to identify where they're at, and then you can give them the best path. And I mean, I've done it. I think we've introduced 4 or 5 guys, which is great. I got introduced from a pal to you, and I think because all of us agency owners who have the same problems, and now that you've proven you can solve them, we're comfortable just sharing our. We don't gatekeep our services, so it's great to be able to tell my mates and network that there's a solution to these problems.